Now tuned into the greatest.
So when that bag come, I won't fumble. I'm just stacking on the low, but hey, I'm tired of being humble. Let me get to it. That motivation music. Get control of your life, don't let nobody else do it. Cause so I'm not gonna have Metro S550s cruising. Feel like you winning on the ground, but he really losing.
Yes, sir. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Run with me, Manny Wilson, all the way from Detroit to Chicago to your speakers and headphones. Of course, I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, a community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you disagree with, you like or you dislike, or even if you just want to outsmart me on something I said, go ahead, shoot us a quick take, 219-413-9405. And of course, we'll play your take back on our next episode. And then shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Go ahead, get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code TheRunPodcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So it's a lot of baseball going on right now. My Tigers is really just killing everybody right now. We just swept the socks off of them boys, as they mentioned. The Red Sox, man, we just whacked them up. So I love it, man. I'm really loving it. Go to one of these baseball games and use that promo code. But anyway, look, the difference between the NBA playoffs right now and the regular season is just crazy. That's really what I want to bring to you. That's what I want to discuss first. We got a lot more in the show to cover. But this difference between playoff basketball in the NBA and regular season basketball is extreme. And the NBA seriously has to do something to try and figure out if they're going to have less games or what. Because at this point, getting ready to, get to the end of the season for the NBA playoffs. Conference finals is here. NBA finals is here. And then you got to go back to the regular season. Like, the momentum is just awful. It's almost like irrelevant half of the regular season. So I'm on the side of saying the NBA has to truly consider playing less games in the regular season. It's night and day from playoff basketball to regular season basketball. And it has to be less games that just makes the games more intense, make it more meaningful. More physical, more defense. Like in the playoffs, obviously we know we've been seeing some great basketball so far, especially up to this point, but I haven't seen this much defense played literally all year, and it should not be that way. It should be consistent all through the season where guys are hand checking and guys are able to be physical and get a hard foul without feeling as if, they're going to get ejected and stuff like that. I'm witnessing that stuff happen in the playoffs right now, whereas in the regular season, it's rare. It's very rare, and the only time you really start to see that spark of physical defense, hand checking, and guys actually making hard fouls and playing through contact and not trying to, foul bait as much because they know they aren't going to get the calls. The only time you see that type of play is either in the beginning of the season, the first couple of games, or the last couple of games when guys are really trying to make the playoffs. So my proposal for that is not only do you shorten the season, but you get rid of that stupid in-season tournament. That's got to go. That is just pointless at this point. And as far as, anything else, I'm really thinking like you give it maybe 58 games, 56 games, 52, 64, anything like that. But it makes the games a lot better. Like it makes the games more meaningful. People actually care. People, have a true desire to play the game and get to the playoffs and all of that. So, this is why they got to consider. And then from a fan's perspective, it's going to help the viewership because the whole viewership thing that they've been going through for the past couple of years, obviously, a big part of me really believes that the viewership crisis is just a result of the games being spread out on so many different platforms that people don't know about. So, I do find that, a bigger problem too. But however, the bigger picture is the games aren't always good in the regular season. Whereas in the playoffs, the games are good. Whatever you watch, people are going to play hard. Whatever you watch, it's going to be physical. People are going to hand check. People are playing defense. And guys actually care. They're playing through injuries that's minor. And in the regular season, it's the complete opposite. Guys are rested. Guys are getting tossed for touching a defender. Guys can't play intense. It's just not the same. So, I think in order for the league to really capitalize on viewership, capitalize on this tremendous postseason that we're experiencing right now, they got to consider going down to either 58, 64, 52 games, something like that. You got to lower the game totals because it's going to become more important and it's just going to become more intense and make for a better it's just going to make for a better game, bro. It really is. And, this is one of the things, too, where obviously it's going to take away from the beginning, middle, and end of the season, but I don't think it's necessarily going to hurt anything. To me, this is a situation where it's like, okay, well, less is more. So now the less games that we get, the more intense it's going to be, the better the quality of the games are actually going to be in the NBA season if you do shrink the games around. And then my last point here that I want to mention, the key reason, too, another key piece of why the season should be shortened is because you got guys getting injured left and right in the postseason. I mean, obviously, it's not all due to just a long season and, a full heavy season on what's going on through the course of the season. That's not necessarily the case on why guys are falling down come playoffs, big minutes and all of that. There's a lot of different factors that go into it. However, all I'm saying is, from the beginning of an 82-game season to the end of an 82-game season, guys are falling down in the middle, which is expected. Become postseason, they're back up, trying to play through an injury, and then get re-injured again. In the past 5-6 seasons that we've witnessed, there's been a star from some team that had potential to go to the NBA Finals that's gotten hurt. Obviously, this year, Steph Curry, Jason Tatum both got hurt. Both were already on their way out, but this is also another key piece. Last year, we seen the Celtics run through the East because every single person in the Eastern Conference who was a threat got hurt. So, this is the things where I'm like, the league going to a smaller season, it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. Less is more, again, in this situation because, guys are more durable in a smaller time span if you play them. And if they do decide to, rest because they are smacking teams left and right, then, okay, they've earned that right because they are smacking teams left and right. However, I don't even think that would be the case because teams will be able to creep in and take your seeding of 1 through 8. And that would be another thing that got to change too. Like, get rid of the 10th seed. Because how the hell is teams going to be, a 10th seed and still get the chance to go play in the playoffs and also get the chance to win the lottery draft? What the hell is up with that? Like, it's insane. So there's a lot of things that the league has to change. But going back to my point of shortening the season, this is going to resolve a lot of the issues. People talk about how the hell can a 10 seed possibly make the playoffs and also possibly win the lottery draft. People also talk about, okay, well, you come off the high of playoff basketball, then you get back to the regular season stuff of people not playing hard, people not playing defense, soft calls, the defense isn't physical, no hand checking, everybody's getting ejected because it's a common hard foul. Like, the simple stuff like this is really what's hurting the game. You see more strategic basketball in the playoffs because guys are trying to win games versus regular season. A bunch of teams are experimenting, trying things. They're just chucking threes and it's not working. Less adjustments are being made. So I truly feel it would help with viewership as well. Now games are more intense, so everybody wants to watch one of the 52 games or 64 games, whatever you decide to make it. But it is a thing where it's a literal night and day situation of playoff basketball and regular season basketball. This is why so many people don't care about the NBA in the regular season, because the playoffs is when people actually play hard and play like they care. So if you make it where the regular season is intense as well and the regular season is impactful, guys are playing hard and all of this stuff, people will begin to watch it, especially if you fix up the platforms that you're putting it on and let people know what platforms these games are coming on. Because right now you got to spread so thin, it's hard to even keep up. And in League Pass, you can't even watch the damn games. But that's a whole nother segment. That's a different story. Just shorten the season, 64. Even if you go, I would say 64 is probably that sweet spot of games where you want to shorten it up to. But that's where I'm at on that, man. Shorten the season, and you will see a lot of things improve. Less is very much more in this situation of the NBA, but they genuinely got to consider this because the playoff basketball and regular season basketball is just really night and day, man. It's a tremendous thing where it's completely different. So, I think about this and I'm like, I'm not a fan of that part. So anyway, look, man, we got some more stuff coming up. We actually got a voicemail from someone. He left us a voicemail. He's seen some stuff about the Stephen A. and LeBron thing. I know this is way overdue, but he must have caught it at the end or something because he had a lot to say about it. I ain't listened to the whole thing. I just seen it was a longer voicemail. So I was like, all right, let's see what he got to do. So I'm going to play the voicemail. Here we go. And then, we'll hear him out. Let's see what he's talking about here. I got it, man. Let's pull this up real quick because, man, I was shocked. I seen some things about it and I'm like, all right, this he talking about LeBron on here? Like, damn, what LeBron do? And I go look at some of the transcript and I'm like, okay, this is all right. So here we go, man. Let's go ahead and play it. Let's see what he's talking about here on the voicemail. Let's do it.
My name's Andre Hicks.
What's good, Andre?
I'm in California, from Compton. And this is concerning the Stephen A. On LeBron. And not just because I'm from California, I'm from the LA area.
Okay.
This is Stephen A. basically, shoe shining ass, ain't got no hair on his head.
Damn.
Won't listen to LTD. I think I better let it go. Teddy Pendergrass. Won't let it go. I mean, between him and that other coon on the radio, TV show,
damn,
on the Fox show, the big fat boy who did nothing but play with himself when he was playing football. He stayed on the ground more than anything else.
Talk about Spears?
I can't think of his name.
Spears.
This is what gets me, is that why do you always find humor? Even the other day, I can't think of the Big Woody, offensive lineman, was on his show, and he said, man, hold up. We're going to front him off on national TV. Where is your blazer and your tie? On national TV. But he was on, prior to Stephen A. show, he was on, oh my God, what's the show that comes on before? Get Up. Ain't nobody said nothing about his dress attire. But he gonna front Woody off, man. Man, I wish I could say something to Stephen A.'s face straight up. I'd tell him about himself. He's a stove-bought. I'm not gonna call him Uncle Tom because Uncle Tom really stood up for black people. I'm gonna call him a straight tap dancing Negro.
Ooh.
That's a tap dancing Negro.
Damn, dog.
I'm gonna tell you that. They're always saying he hard from New York. He ain't hard. Let him walk from El Segundo down Wilmington Avenue to Rosecrans in Compton, Front Hood District. Straight Front Hood. I bet you he won't make it from one end to the other. Bring your entourage with you. You won't make it, partner. Thank you.
Damn. All right, go off, man. Go crazy then, bro. This is what this is about. Get your takes off. If you got something on your chest, I'll let everybody hear it, man. I want to hear what y'all thinking. I want to hear what the sports world is thinking. So I will play whatever you send as long as it makes sense. So get your flows off, bro. Andre, I ain't mad at you, bro. A lot of people feel that way about Stephen A. Personally, I can't necessarily say I agree. There's some things in there, some points you made where, it is probably debatable, but at the end of the day, bro, that's your take on that, and I respect it, bro. So shout out to you for, shooting us a call and getting your flows off about Stephen A. But I ain't gonna lie, bro, a lot of people ain't making that walk either. I know you mentioned Stephen A. ain't making that walk, but a lot of other people ain't making that walk either. And I don't necessarily know if it has anything to do with, if a person is tough or not, because that sounds like a long ass walk too, though, bro. like I'm not from the area, so I don't necessarily know. And correct me if I'm wrong. I might, it might be a long walk, it might not be, but it just sounds like a long ass walk. Sound like some Paul Pierce type stuff, And I don't know the area, so I don't know. But sometimes, when you go to dangerous places and you mind your own business, you straight. So I don't know if Stephen A. would be doing that. Obviously, he probably wouldn't be yapping off at the mouth if he, was out there and talking to people, but he probably would be cool. But I just don't know, man. That's your flow. Hey, I respect how you feel on that situation. I respect how you feel about Stephen A. Again, a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people feel different. But, hey, get your flows off. I respect that you went ahead, left a quick take on there. Anybody who's listening, get your flows off. shoot us a quick take, 219-413-9405. We'll play your take back on our next episode, for sure. And we'll let everybody hear it. If they want to comment on it, go ahead, do it. I'll comment on it. But we'll get your flows off for sure. So go ahead and send us a call. And of course, we'll play it. Other than that, man, we got some news for the run coming up. Some news that you got to hear. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. It's halftime. All right, man, so let's jump into some news for the run. Let's get into it. Of course, man, leave us a quick take, 219-413-9405 if you want to comment on anything or just go ahead, get your flows off and let us know what's happening. So anyway, let's start off with the NBA. Obviously, as you know, the playoffs are here and a lot of teams is getting eliminated left and right. So in the Eastern Conference, you got the Indiana Pacers. They have it was almost a sweep. Almost a sweep. I was calling for a sweep at one point, but they beat the Cavs 4-1 in the semifinals, and now the Pacers are waiting for either the Knicks or the Celtics to show up in the conference finals. And then in the Western Conference, we have an arrival to the conference finals there. The Minnesota Timberwolves popped the Warriors 4-1, got them sent home. And now they're waiting on either the Oklahoma City Thunder or the Denver Nuggets to meet them in the conference finals. And the conference finals, it looks like so far it's set to begin on May 21st for the Eastern Conference Finals. Don't really have the date for the Western Conference Finals as of yet, just because this series is a little more intense. So very much might go to 7, but who knows? As of right now, too, the East and the West, you got both teams who are fighting to get to the conference finals. Knicks, Celtics, Thunder, Nuggets, both are 3-2. So it very much still can go to game 7 for both teams. So you really never know. However, let's move on because in the NFL, you got some stuff going on. So you got to check out the schedule release that's been going on in the NFL for your favorite team. A lot of teams been dropping videos. A lot of teams dropping graphics and all kind of stuff to show who the teams are playing. So you want to be updated on who your team is. And I think tickets are now on sale. I know I'm trying to go to some Falcons game. So, use the promo code too to run podcast and save yourself $20 if you are buying tickets. It's for first time purchases only. So you might have to make a new account and all of that. However, with the schedule release in the NFL, the Eagles are the first team in NFL history to have 10 plus games against playoff teams from the previous season. So that tells you they got an extremely difficult schedule going on. I know the Lions also have an extremely difficult schedule. There's a couple of teams out here with some elite schedules. So the way the NFL cooked this up, I'm excited for it. However, the first game of the season that's going to kick off the NFL season is between the Dallas Cowboys and the Philadelphia Eagles. And I usually would never ever side with the Eagles or the Cowboys. But in this instance, unfortunately, I'm going with the Cowboys. I hope they kind of knock some sense into the Eagles and into the fans, just knock them off the high horse just a little. And yes, I'm hating. Shit, I'll admit it. I'm hating on the Eagles. At this point, yes, I'm hating on the Eagles. I'm not hating on Jalen Hurts. Great quarterback, not top 5, but that conversation will be revisiting that multiple times out the season, and I'll stand on that no matter what. But I think I'm turning into the biggest hater of the Eagles right now. Kind of how I was with the Cowboys and how I am with the Cowboys. But it's really the whole NFC East. I don't know what it is. I'm going to get back to the news in a sec, but I don't know what it is about the NFC East that's just so damn annoying. Whether it's Cowboys fans, Eagles fans, Commanders fans, I can live with because they've been bad for so long. But Giants fans even is just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about the NFC East. But Cowboys, Eagles fans is beginning to act more like Cowboys fans. Cowboys fans has just always been whatever. So I don't know, man. Week 1, though, that's going to be hype between Cowboys and Eagles. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, some other news that's going on in the NFL. Cornerback Jalen Ramsey still has a big question mark on where he'll be playing next season after being mentioned in multiple trade talks. So multiple reports say that he has interest from multiple teams, and we can expect a trade to happen in the upcoming weeks. So I'm excited to see where Ramsey ends up. Also, too, Bengals DN Hendrickson, he is dropping a hint on where he wants to be traded. So in a Sports Illustrated article, he mentioned the Lions. he said Detroit already has one of the game's best young players at the position in Aiden Hutchinson, and the proposition of adding another would give them one of the league's best pass rush duos. I 1000% agree with him, and for the Lions' sake, that would be nasty. That would be a good pickup if they did pick up Henderson, and that would be disgusting, especially with Hutch coming back. Oh man, that would be disgusting. And they got a healthy defense now. Disgusting if Hendrickson goes there, man. Anyway, so for the other thing that's going on, like I said, the schedule release is the main thing. So I want to discuss my Atlanta Falcons here, because my Atlanta Falcons, I'm excited about their schedule for the 2025-2026 season. I'm expecting some big things to happen here. However, Falcons, they got 5 primetime games. I'm super excited about this. It looks like the league is probably noticing how great they are and the things that they're doing, and the come up. It seems like they're realizing it. But the games that they're playing in prime time, they'll be going against the Vikings in week 2, the Buffalo Bills week 6. This is going to be fresh off a bye week. The bye week is week 5. 49ers in week 7, Buccaneers in week 16, Rams in week 17. So with these primetime games, I'm excited. It looks like very winnable primetime games. The biggest one that scares me right off the bat is probably the Vikings and the Bills in week 2 and week 6. I think we'll pretty much have the Buccaneers, taken care of, especially since they got a new offensive coordinator and they had a lot of drama going on too. Didn't really, make a big surprise in the draft of making anything, pop. However, in terms of the Falcons, I think they'll win 12 games. And I'm standing on that. I got the Falcons winning 12 games this next season. They're definitely going to improve from the 8-9 season that they had last year. But I want to be on record, and I'm standing on the Falcons winning 12 games this upcoming season and this upcoming year. So obviously, I want to start with the division, and I'll bring up all of the other, matchups that they have. But I want to start with just the division, because you got to really win these divisional games if you talking about winning anything. And I'll pull it up for those who are on the stream to see, the division games and stuff like that. But, one of the things that I think about in the division is not really that much competition. Truth be told, it's not a bunch of competition in the NFC South. It's really between the Atlanta Falcons and the Carolina Panthers, because not too worried about the Buccaneers. Again, they lost their offensive coordinator who was making a lot of things happen for them. He had the offense flowing. They had injuries last year that's going to carry over into this year. So I'm not too really worried about the Buccaneers making things happen and being a huge disruptor in the NFC South. I think they can obviously be a factor depending on how well Baker Mayfield plays and how well that offense adjusts to losing a coordinator. However, but the main focus is for me, being an Atlanta Falcons fan, is going to be the Carolina Panthers, because they did amazing in the draft. We also seen them come off the end of the season last year off a huge high, and Bryce Young's play, he was playing great. So the division games is going to be important. Panthers is the main thing that I'm focusing on in terms of who's going to win this division. After that, I'm looking at these other teams, and when I see them, I don't really see too many L's coming our way, truth be told. So the games that concern me, we'll forget about the preseason games. Those obviously don't matter, but it's in the graphic here, so we'll see it. But week 2, like I said, Vikings, I think it's going to be a great matchup. It'll be in prime time, and it is an away game happening in Minnesota. So that's going to be tough. We got to go there and win. It'll be, the Vikings, their prime time slot. They got a lot to prove too, and they also got a tough division, so they can't afford to lose games that's not in their division. So that'll be tough. I understand that. However, more games too on here. Buffalo Bills is another game that worries me a little bit. The Commanders is a game that worries me a little bit. And then, I kind of want to think about some of the other games that we should win, but probably will lose, because that does happen. Dolphins, another team. Sometimes the Dolphins are there, sometimes they're not there. And then outside of the Dolphins, the Jets are another team I got my eye on, and the Seahawks are another team I got my eye on, and teams in terms of games that we might not lose. And God forbid we do split with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or split with the Panthers. I think that would make for like 5 or 6 games. So, this is where I say, I really do have the Falcons winning at least 12 games. And I want to stand on that. So Falcons are going to win 12 games. And another reason why I say Falcons are going to win 12 games is because they did make a lot of improvements from the offseason. So the big issue was not necessarily the offense. Obviously, we know, Falcons fans, we know that we got screwed by Kirk Cousins coming out after the season saying he was playing through injury. We started off hot. We started off whacking teams left and right in prime time. It was prime time Kirk. We was hype about Kirk Cousins. And then he got hurt. Shoulder injury, continued to play through it. We went down a slippery slope of failure, lost like 5 or 6 games straight, and we just never could find a groove after that. Penix saved the day a little bit, gave us a little hope toward the end of the season. However, after that, when I'm looking at the offense now, starting off with Penix, I think we'll see great things. We didn't lose anybody on the offensive end. Guys are only going to improve. We kept Bijan, Drake London, all of that. And then our quarterback position is going to be solid. One of the things, too, I love about the Falcons right now, not sure if it'll be this way come toward the season, but right now we have the best backup quarterback in the NFL. And that's not even a debate. Kirk Cousins being a backup quarterback, especially if he's healthy and not worrying about his shoulder injury, we're definitely in good hands here. And then on the defensive side, which was the biggest question mark for the Falcons last year, we definitely improved there. We fired our defensive coordinator, brought in Jeff Arbich, who I think is going to do a great job. But the big issue was the pass rush for the Atlanta Falcons. We could not get pressure on anybody. No matter who it was, how good their offensive line was, or whatever the case was, we could not get pressure on anybody. And then word came out toward the end of the season, in the back half of the season, it was more Raheem Morris calling the defensive pass rush and calling the defensive plays, which is why those sacks increased toward the end of the season compared to the beginning of the season. So I'm loving our defensive odds here matching up against these other teams. I think this was the area where we needed to improve in the offseason, and we did that. We brought in some free agents that's going to add some more depth to the defense. And then we also drafted very well, bringing in a new safety, Xavier Watts. I mean, he's about to be great because Justin Simmons, we let him go, and he was injured back and forth, but it just wasn't consistent play. So now we bring in a fresh young guy who's obviously cheap because he's on a rookie deal. And then you bring in 2 edge rushers, Pierce and Walker, who are going to be great and bring the force as well. So these guys are going to be around for some years too because they're going to be on rookie deals. So this defense is loading up for the future. The offense is obviously still very, very young. So I'm loving where we are right now in the season. And I got the Atlanta Falcons winning 12 games for sure. And I'm excited about it, man. I'm pumped and I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go at this point. So, hey, man, check those schedules out. Check with your teams. Falcons gonna win a division. I'm gonna get to acting crazy too. Just know, I want to tell y'all right now, I'm acting a damn fool when the Falcons win 12 games, get to the playoffs, secure the division, and then beat the Eagles first round or whatever the case is. Just know, or beat the Lions first round, or beat the Commanders first round. Just know, I'm acting a damn fool. I want y'all to know. So here's your warning. I tried to warn y'all about the Pistons, and now I'm warning you about my Falcons. I'm going to act a damn fool. So if you see me on IG, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you be watching me, just know I'm cutting up. So this is your warning. So give me some grace when my team is whacking everybody. And I'll hold myself accountable if they not. I ain't got no problem. If my team stinking it up after I said they're going to win 12 games this season, I'll hold myself accountable. I ain't got no shame in that. It wouldn't be the first time. But I got to at least let you know. I'm giving you a warning because like I told y'all with the Pistons, I said it. I told you I'm cutting up. As soon as the Pistons good, they get in the play. And y'all let them get in the playoffs? So don't let them get in the second round, third round next year. It's over with, bro. It's over with. I'm just telling you right now. Anyway, other than that, bro, look, man, I'm going to leave y'all on a positive note here. That's all I got for y'all. So I'm going to leave y'all on a positive note. The positive note here, it's just going to be, don't be scared, man. Don't be scared. Don't be scared to take the lead. Don't be scared to go to the next level or do whatever you got to do to take risk. Just don't be scared because you never know what's going to happen. And, the more you break down the word fear, false evidence appearing real, then it's like you really have nothing to be afraid of. So, trust yourself. Trust if you believe in a higher power or if you don't, whatever. Just trust yourself and, take risk. So that's what I'm going to leave y'all on. Interpret that however you want to, man. Hopefully, as long as it's positive, that's all you got to worry about. other than that, man, that's all I got for y'all. So I greatly appreciate you guys tuning in, whether you listen on a stream, whether you listen on YouTube. YouTube stream is what I mean. Or podcast, iPodcast, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. You just listen to the clips. It don't matter, man. I do appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram at The Run Podcast. Personal page at I am Manny Wilson. TikTok, all of that stuff at The Run Podcast. YouTube at The Run Podcast. So check us out, man. I do appreciate you guys tuning in. Of course, we'll be back later on next week. Y'all boys have a great weekend. Y'all girls have a great weekend. Whoever listening, have yourself a great weekend. You better enjoy it. Spring is among us at this point. So, no, man, I'm out of here. I've been talking too much. Shit, I'm out of here. All right, y'all. I'm out of here, man. Peace out, man. I'll catch y'all later on next week. And so on and so on and so on.